It's 105.5 WDHA here on the Jersey Magazine. Even though we're at the beginning of December, it's baseball time. And my guest this morning is a member of the Union County Baseball Hall of Fame, the longtime coach at his high school alma mater, Governor Livingston in Berkeley Heights. He just got his 400th victory. Is that right? Your 400th this past spring?
Yeah, 400. I'm getting old, like you said, Jim.
Chris Roof, welcome to WDHA. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you again for having me on. I really appreciate it, and you do an amazing job.
Well, thank you. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and as I said, it is December, and we're looking forward to the 2022 baseball season. You've put together the Garden State Baseball Coaches Clinic, which is going to be this coming Saturday, December 11th, at Gamers in Kenilworth. Tell us about the lineup you've put together for this, Chris. It's incredible.
Well, thank you. I know you're a baseball junkie, so I know you would appreciate it. All the things that I go on, typically the Zooms, I always see Jim Monahan on there. So I always know that you're there and you always pick up on things. But thanks again. Quickly, there was 2 clinics in New Jersey that aren't there anymore. And myself and Brian Chapman, who's the head baseball coach at Milburn High School, and Hassani Whitfield, who is the head coach at Cole University, who also is one of the co-owners of Gamers, we just came up with the idea of, hey, why don't we do one? I mean, I've always wanted to do one. I've been very fortunate when I've been at other ones that I've been able to network, meeting a lot of guys. I like to do that. I like to try to also help network for my own players on my team at GL. So when the time came, I had some guys in mind, and it's funny talking to a couple guys I already have next year filled, but for this year, I reached out to a very good friend of mine, Steve Trimper, who is currently the head coach at Stetson. He's a Jersey guy. Chad Kaye, who's the hitting instructor, recruiting coordinator at University of South Carolina. I got a chance to meet him when he just took the job at Texas A&M, and before that he was at Southern Miss. Darren Fenster, who I knew a long time ago when he was an assistant coach and even a player at Rutgers University. And now he's in the Red Sox organization. And then these past Olympics, he was one of the coaches for Team USA. And Kevin Vance, who is really, really moving his way up quickly, outstanding pitching coach at Boston College. The 5th speaker, I did not get the opportunity to. The other co-owner of Gamers, John Lewis, was the pitching coach at Stony Brook, and he was able to secure head coach Matt Sank. So we're really excited, for this clinic on the 11th.
I always like doing these clinics in the wintertime because I think it gets you pumped up for baseball, which is coming all too soon. Chris, what do you find to be the biggest obstacle that you face as a coach?
It's funny. That's a great question. 22 years as a coach, things have changed even 5-6 years ago. The hardest thing, and again, I'm knocking on wood right here, I've been very fortunate not to run into too many hurdles, meaning like maybe administration, parents, whatever it may be. So, or even like our kids buying in to what we try to do as a program. I really do consider myself very fortunate. And, nothing's perfect, but again, there's really not too much. I guess the biggest hurdle is honestly just making sure our team is prepared and ready to go every single year and battle some very good teams that we play year in and year out.
And what do you think is the biggest area of need for local baseball coaches?
I would definitely say knowledge, to be honest with you. That's why it's important to go to these clinics and keep learning. Like you said, I just turned 48 years old. It's my 22nd year as a head coach. And I know, like yourself, you coached for a while, and guys that are really into and passionate never stop learning. So I think it's very important to, I think a lot of coaches sort of, what's the word I'm saying? Like make believe almost to say that they know everything about the game. And that's not true. I can honestly say that there's things that I still don't really know. And I try to, every single year, if there's some I need to try to figure out, I make sure I go see that topic. So I think that's very important. I think I personally like to talk to all young coaches that get into the game because it's a different game now. And the parental side is very, very difficult for some of these young coaches. And even, administration wise, Board of Ed wise. So, but again, I've been very fortunate. But typically I do feel bad for some of these younger coaches coming in, and because it's almost like these parents think that they can almost dictate, to these coaches who's going to play and who's not going to play.
Why do you think, and maybe this is just my perception, Chris, that doesn't seem to happen in other sports the way it happens in baseball? Why is that?
You know what, Jim? I don't know. But you know what? You're right. And I wish, we had an answer for that. I really have no idea. Maybe it's, when you look at football, you have a ton of people playing. When you count special teams, you might be talking about 25 to 30 people getting on a field during that time. Basketball, the way they do substitutions, this and that. I mean, you could play 10, 11 guys. The baseball, it's a little bit more different. I mean, typically you got one catcher and one catcher only. Yeah, of course you have a backup, but most of the time that number one guy is better than that second guy. I also think it's different. It's not like track and field where, you have a stopwatch and, this kid's, going to run this event because he had the best time. Wrestling, you could have a wrestle off and the guy who's going to win is going to be in that weight class. Baseball's a little bit more different. People have different opinions on different things. I mean, even through, probably throughout your coaching staff to, obviously what the parents are saying on the sideline. So, if I was coach, I would, Johnny would be catching, not Jimmy. So maybe that's part of the reason, Jim. I don't know.
And I think one of the other things, Chris, is that we all grew up playing baseball and we all watch it. And, we all think we're on the short list to be the next Mets manager, as the case may be. So, and it seems like a simple game. Throw a ball, hit a ball, catch a ball, to paraphrase that scene in Bull Durham. But within the simplicity of throwing it, hitting it, and catching it, there's a lot going on. We're talking to Chris Roof this morning. He's the longtime head baseball coach at Governor Livingston High School in Berkeley Heights, and also one of the presenters of the Garden State Baseball Coaches Clinic this coming Saturday, December 11th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Gamers in Kenilworth. One of the things I also wanted to talk to you about, and you've been fortunate enough to send a number of your players onto the collegiate level. And we've had a number of players in this area of New Jersey who have gone on to play at the collegiate level. You think, of Jack Leiter, of course, down at Vanderbilt. And again, some of your players. I think there's two areas that are of utmost importance in college baseball. And one is the number of scholarships. Is it 12.7? I think the coaches have
11.7.
11.7.
The crazy part is, and this is where they got to configure a puzzle, 35 kids on a roster, Division I we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
27 of the 35 have to be scholarship, a minimum of 25%. So, and we're talking about schools, Jim, that are fully funded. There's a lot of Division I schools in this country, a lot in the Northeast that are not fully funded. So when you're talking about schools having, let's say, 4 or 5 scholarships, I don't know how they do it.
And then the number of paid coaches on the staff, it's 2.
Yeah,
it's just 2 in college basketball at the D1 level. That's insane to me.
It's an absolute joke. And, I feel for these guys. I mean, they're away from their families if they have families. And I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. Jim, me and you love it, but these guys must really love it to be to do what they're doing on a day in and day basis. I mean, listen, I get it. Full-time baseball is pretty cool, but at the end of the day, these volunteers assistants aren't making too much money.
What's the 2022 Highlander team look like this coming spring?
I think we'll be pretty good. I think we'll be competitive.
That's an understatement. They're always very good.
Again, we always have some outstanding kids that buy into what we do, and they buy in, when they're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And again, that's what I've worked very hard on is our program. And, like you said, you were a coach one time years ago. We have amazing coaches, coaches that are loyal and that would do anything for our kids. It's like a family-like atmosphere. So I think that's very, very important. And, over the years, you pick and choose how you want your program to be. And I think we're at a really good point right now. So if you give us some talent, I think we can really, really develop these kids and become a cohesive unit and be a competitive team, on paper and hopefully on the field.
As one of the co-presenters of this Saturday's clinic, who are you most looking forward to hearing speak?
You can't ask me that one, man. I have 4 guys coming and I ask. So not one guy. I'll be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to, I know a few of the guys are going to be flying in on Friday. We're going to take them to dinner. So I'm really looking forward to hanging out with those guys and just talking baseball Friday night, to be honest with you.
Well, never stop learning is one of the things that I've always kind of lived by, whether it's my radio career or coaching in baseball. Again, for anybody who's interested, gamersba.com is the website to go to, gamersba.com, the Garden State Baseball Coaches Clinic, Saturday, December 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Gamers in Kenilworth. Chris Roof, thanks for joining us this morning here on the Jersey Magazine, and best of luck to the Highlanders this year.
Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate it, and best of luck to you.